Tuesday, August 16th edition of the Carolina Weather Video. I'm meteorologist Matthew East here with you. It was a delightful Monday across the region with highs well down into the 80s, low levels of humidity. The forecast today, much the same, a touch warmer, mid to some upper 80s, very low levels of humidity and lots of sunshine, and really still a pretty good looking day tomorrow. But changes are coming. We'll bring back some storm chances into the forecast, and also I'll spend a decent amount of time discussing the tropics with you here as today's edition of the video unfolds. Now let's take a peek at the radar imagery this morning. The biggest severe weather episodes, I suppose, yesterday were up into the Dakotas, and that's will be the case again today. Just some lingering areas of rain. They've had too much rain in parts of the Northeast and still raining in parts of that section of the country this morning. Here are your watch warning and advisory products this morning. Heat advisors creeping back up around eastern Oklahoma and also around the Texas Gulf Coast. But really a lot of the country, once you get away from the southern plains, enjoying a nice reprieve from the heat. Here's our temperatures this morning. There are some 50s involved in Middle Tennessee into the North Carolina mountains this morning. A lot of 60s across the Piedmont and the upstate, and not only is it a fairly comfortable temperature regime, it's a pretty low humidity temperature regime and air mass overall as well. And we'll see very low levels of humidity again the next couple of days. There's your dew points. We're looking at some sub 60 degree dew points from Tennessee into the mountains and parts of the upstate of South Carolina into the Piedmont zones this morning as well. Here's the upper air pattern off the European model this afternoon. The big trough that delivered this nice air mass swinging out to sea, but notice more energy gathering up here in southern Canada into the northern plain states. Here's what it looks like by the time Friday arrives. Still kind of a baggy trough here over the eastern part of the country. So as long as that's the case, you're not going to have any extreme levels of heat. And again, this is the European model. By the time we get to Monday, you're looking at a very well-defined trough in the Great Lakes in the northeastern part of the country that then tries to develop down our way as we get deeper into next week. And we'll just have to keep watching what happens in the tropics. Notice a little tropical system showing up here north of Hispaniola. Again, I'll get into the tropics in more detail in just a moment. Today, though, just a beautiful day across the region. The Piedmont highs mid to some upper 80s, low levels of humidity, lots of sun. It'll be upper 80s and lower 90s tomorrow. Again, lots of sun, low humidity. But then we get the first of a couple of cold fronts that drop our way. That will begin to approach Thursday, so I think a few thunderstorms a possibility Thursday afternoon, and maybe a little better chance Friday of seeing some scattered thunderstorms. And then we have to work out the timing of the next front. The GFS keeps us dry Saturday, brings in a few storms Sunday with most of the storms, with that next front coming Monday. The European's about a day quicker, with most of the thunderstorms being Sunday and then dry again by Monday. So for the time being, I've just mentioned a chance of some showers and storms for Sunday and Monday, and we'll refine that timing as we go forward in time. In the tropics now, we have GERT that's pulling away from Bermuda. GERT will only be an issue for the shipping lanes in the North Atlantic Ocean now. Otherwise, we start looking for the next sign of development. There's a tropical wave here in the eastern Caribbean Sea. It is not very organized looking this morning at all. But the general idea for that tropical wave is going to be a motion somewhere like that. Generally a west-northwest track through the Caribbean. And a lot of the models do really ramp this up in intensity. This is a look at the various intensity models, and right there is hurricane threshold. So a number of the models get it up here above the hurricane threshold. We'll see. If this does develop, it's likely heading for the Yucatan and then Mexico, but something we'll definitely keep a watch on. Now, out in the eastern Atlantic, the African wave train, very much alive, and you have to watch this whole area for any signs of development. And let me show you the couple of model charts here as we go forward in time. This is out at 144 hours. The Canadian model has a tropical system at that point in time that has just entered the eastern Caribbean from one of those African waves. The GFS at 168, much the same, with a very powerful tropical system in the northeast Caribbean. And from there, watch what the GFS does. Here we are at on Thursday evening of next week, the 25th. GFS has that system sitting over Cuba. From there, it moves it into South Florida by Saturday the 27th, and then inland into North Georgia. And a lot of rain on that run of the GFS from that landfalling tropical system for Georgia and much of the Carolinas. Now, again, this is pure model fantasy at this point. The chances of that exact scenario unfolding are very small. But I wanted to show you that. And again, this is the time of year we have to watch those waves emerging off the African coast. And If we were to get one of those to develop, looks like the window of opportunity for maybe a potential U.S. landfall would be open from later next week into the following week. So we'll just kind of have to see if anything can indeed develop from one of those African tropical waves. All right, that is it for today. Thank you for watching. Have a great Tuesday. Enjoy this wonderful weather, and God bless.